Let me introduce our guest for today's show, Neil Spencer. Neil, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks so much. I'm really excited to be here.
Neil is Vice President of Product here at REDX. And so we're going to talk about some cool stuff today. And Neil was best suited for the job. And so we're excited to have you, Neil. This is going to be fun. Let's talk about the data insight tools. Tell us what they are, and then let's talk a little bit more about them.
Yeah, so data insights add-ons, we have 4 different packages that you can add on to your product. And what we do is we go out and find data and we attach it to any of the data that's available for a property. We attach it to the property and we display it for you inside of Vortex, inside the detail view. When someone is trying to prospect, they want to better define or find their audience. So if I have this huge group of people, what's a better way for me to define who I need to talk to? So that's one of the problems that we see. Another problem is when I'm on the phone with somebody, how do I sound like an expert? I want to stand out, separate myself from all the other real estate agents. And we know that pretty much everybody, everyone knows a real estate agent. Most of the time they're more of a part-time agent. There aren't as many professional agents that do this full time, that are dedicated to their craft, that really are experts. But that's hard to do over the phone when you're having an initial conversation. You can share your history. That's one way to do it. Share your track record, but it's here and now. They care about what is it that what is it that you can do for me? Not what have you done for other people? What can you do for me? So that's one of the problems that we see. The other part is around tailoring your message. So don't just give the same sales pitch to every person. Scripts are great and they help, but as the experienced prospectors know, once you have that down, there are ways that you can offer changes or nuances within your script that help you stand out from everybody else. So those are really the 3 big problems that we try to solve with data insights. And we feel that having this information readily available for agents as they're prospecting is going to help solve those 3 problems. And so filtering now has become more powerful, but imagine that you are subscribing to our pre-foreclosure product. And now you can filter down to who is in pre-foreclosure and also has a certain amount of equity in their home. Like, this becomes extremely valuable to you. Imagine now your list that you've gone through, you don't have to make the calls manually. We help to do some of that work for you. Or same thing within GeoLeads. You're searching around an area. Now you can better define as you're farming or farming an area, and you're calling these people, you can make less phone calls because you can better tailor your audience.
So let's talk. There's these 4 data insights. Tell me what all 4 of these insights are.
Yes, so financial insights, which offers financial information about the home or homeowner. We have home and building information, which offers greater detail into what the home has. I mean, listing information has a lot of info there, but this goes into greater depth. And then you have lifestyle, which talks about interests from the homeowner or certain behaviors, behavioral preferences that they have. And the 4th is a market insights, which offers information for that specific property. We base it around the zip code of a property. So those reports are customized at a zip code level. And it helps you understand average price, days on market, which a lot of agents, good agents, are going to know that information generally or for their MLS off the top of their head. Imagine you're talking to someone, you're saying, for your specific neighborhood that you're in, or I know what it takes to sell homes in your area, because in your zip code right now, homes are selling for this. You can also see trend lines around any of those metrics, and then you see specific segments around the property as well. This is a lead that we have in our system. The data has been anonymized, except for we have the listing information here that shows up. But when you click on the data insights, you're able to see here is the information around a financial package. Yeah, so around this lead, we're able to find household income, estimated mortgage debt, estimated equity, a wealth score, if they have interest in investing or not, and that is, are they owning multiple properties, an estimated age, marital status, length of residence, and an education level to help you understand, this is perfect on helping to understand how you talk to somebody. Around home and building, there's significantly more fields, and it's going to depend on the information. But you see information, bedroom, bathroom, square footage, lot size, year built, some typical information that we have. But now you start to get into structural description, square footage, which is a differentiator, right? It tells you about how big the basement is, whether the garage has a carport. You have heating information. You have, let's see, a roof type description, tax amount, number of bedrooms. You have even a description around the garage type. So those are greater detail around the home and building. And now we go into lifestyle or interests. And for this particular person, we're understanding that they're a book reader, tech enthusiast. They have interest in performing arts, home and gardening, traveling. They have interest in fitness, and they don't have any specific information about sports, but sometimes they'll let you know if they have sports. But this one they can tell also that they have a boat. There's interest in boating. So you have a lot of information about either how you can connect personally with the person, or even just things just in general about what they like to do to help you understand them before you even start a conversation or while you're having the conversation.
Show us the market insights, because that's the one that has some cool stuff, like you were saying, zip code to zip code, and allows you to look at that information there.
Yeah, exactly. So first you'll notice that you can go between condos and homes up here, which is really helpful because that can really skew your reports that you have. But you'll see this real-time profile for within your market. And this is, like I said, it's based on zip code. It's updated on actuals every week. So you have that information. And you can see median list price per square foot. You see days on market, the price, how many times prices are decreased, how many times they're increased, relisted, how many times or how often properties are relisted in the area, days on inventory, stuff about rent, most expensive, least expensive, and then this market action as well. And then you have some cool charts. So this shows, yeah, we have a seller's market. In most markets, you probably don't need a chart to tell you that, but it gives you evidence to tell you about where it's at, and also trends on what direction this is going. You see trends on list price, and you can find stuff like, hey, in this area, list prices are going up by quite a bit here in the winter. And you can start to, as you're talking with someone, you're saying, hey, list prices are going up. In fact, in the last 3 or 4 months, you've seen list prices go up, in this case, over almost $1 million, $750,000 or something like that. And then you have some information about market segments as well that are down here. But some of these information, like you can, sorry, I should have gone to these trends, but you can pick any of these trends from those metrics listed above and see trends on them. So you can see like, well, what's happening with price per square foot? Like maybe they're just bigger homes that are getting listed, but we can see that's not the case. And you can start to break this down as a person's asking you questions, and you're having that conversation. You have this information readily available. One of the things that that you'll see coming out relatively soon is that we're working through, trying to finish and trying to get through testing, is that we need to have an updated experience within Vortex. There's also we hear a lot about team functionality, about trying to bring on multiple users and have them prospect or use, be able to have insight into whose notes that are happening or different leads from different accounts. That's another thing that's on our mind. We also have ideas around how do I not just prospect or reach out to new leads, but how can I use Vortex to help stay in touch with the people that I already know or that I already have relationships with? That's something that's really important. And then another one is, how do I get outside leads and leads that I'm either warming up or that I get from other places, and how can I automatically bring those into Vortex? So yeah, so those are some of the things that we're working on.